Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now it has been a while since I have posted last, but I just wanted to talk and come back again because it's my channel. But today I wanted to talk about Asian schooling and especially East Asian schools and student routines, because it is not child's play. It isn't child's play, it is like hell. So first of all, the schedule. The routine, the schedule. Let me just say this. You wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, then are expected to get ready within 30 minutes because bus arrives at 5:30. You leave and go to school, come back again, after school is over, reach home at 3 p.m. Then you're expected again to have lunch, do everything, get ready again to, for another tuition classes. That is probably more than one, and then you come back again 7 p.m. in the evening. Then you have your dinner and are again expected to study for 5 to 4 hours. And as a consequence, you get 3 to 4 hours of sleep at max, and then you're expected to act all jolly and act all happy the next day in school. Did I miss something? Did I miss a chapter? Or did I miss a whole book? Strict rules and strict guidelines. When you go to school, I mean, not all East Asian countries have this, but you have to wear your uniform in a particular way. Especially for girls, they have to tie their hair in a particular way. They have to wear their skirts to a particular length, and if their length is like shorter or even longer sometimes, they might get in trouble. And what's their excuse for all this? Because they are distracting the boys. Do you live in the Stone Ages? Also, I think the glamorization of schooling, of East Asian schooling in popular media like C-drama, K-drama, not J-drama. J-drama sucks. That's a topic for another video though. So like anime, in those media you will see all these colored hair and stuff like that, and people wearing uniforms in all different ways and stuff like that. But in real life, no, you're not allowed to do that. Having everything figured out. Now, having everything figured out is like the pinnacle. You have to have everything planned out, figured out. You need to have a goal, and that is very important. But asking a first grader this question about what their life goal is, and their parents forcing them to fit in a mold, fit in whatever they desire that child should be, is still very prevalent in East Asia, I think, and I think it is a root cause for many children and many students being unhappy with their career options and their career choices later on in life. And they are changing, perspectives are changing of what success looks like, not like doctor, engineer, and lawyer. That do be sometimes that way. That's the truth. Having hobbies or extracurricular activities only for the grades, not for you liking that particular hobby. For me, I was very lucky in this department that my parents did not force me to do anything that I did not like. I loved swimming, so they admitted me to a swimming class and a swimming tutor. Then I had interest in drawing and singing, like things like that. So for me, it was a natural development, but I have heard a lot of students who have faced this issue of their parents forcing them to choose something only because of the grades, or only because it will look nice on when they're grading or when they're submitting their papers to an institute. I'm not sure, but it is a reality for many of my friends. They do not like music. They might not like music. They might not like art. They might not like this and that they're doing. They might not like playing. They might not like doing sports, but they're forced to do it Why? Because it will look nice. What are we on? What are we on? What are we on? Literally. Things are this way because it has been this way, and you raising your voice against all of these is because you are lazy or you are irresponsible and you don't want to take responsibility. Now this mindset is a really bad mindset that a lot of older generation have. When we speak up about things that are bad about our education system, they put the blame on us. We are somehow the antagonist, and they are the victims, that they were also subjected to such things, and they were fine, they were this and that. Now we are complaining too much, talking too much, and things like that. It is still true. It is still true. It is very surprising to know this, but it is still true. If I say that the homework is too much, I mean, who will write a 26 paper essay on a random fact, on a random one-liner in my history textbook? What? So many students did raise their voice against this, and as a teacher, why they did this, because that was just insane, that was just nonsensical. But instead of actually going through with it, instead of examining the situation, the principal, the one that should have listened to the students, he himself was like, no, that is just the way that it has been. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. That's how it has been. I have also dealt with this. That's why we are trying to make it better. Aren't you getting the point? It's simple. It's that simple. Like, this will probably be too much of a rant, so moving on to the next point. Standing out too much. I feel like in a lot of East Asian countries, standing out too much is not like that at all. In a lot of European countries, and even in US and Canada and places like that, a lot of people see independence as them being their own individual personality and standing out from the crowd and doing things that they like and desire. But in East Asia, it's completely the opposite. If you are gonna be an independent part of the society, then you are expected to do certain things in a certain way that has been done that way for generations. You have to speak in a certain way. You have to respect others based on their level, based on minute things like age and their profession, their work, and basic things like that. Now I do see a lot of contradicting points to this point, that Japanese gyaru, then a lot of fashion styles are going straight against the social norm or what is expected of them. But at the same time, it has also been normalized in such a way that it is the normal, really. You doing certain things a certain way, in a certain aesthetic, is also associated with the norm. It is the normal there. So that is not really standing out from the crowd. That is just choosing your crowd in a way, if that makes sense. But still, when you're talking to an elder, when you're talking to your classmates, when you're talking to a teacher, you're expected to maintain a decent level of respect and also language intuition that I don't see anywhere else. And I think it's great. Respecting our elders, talking respectfully with them is great, and things like that. But when elders also impose things like people shouldn't change or things shouldn't change because they are the way that they are, is also really toxic from both of them. Because slowly the younger generation would just end up faking their kindness, and that's not really the point. It just completely defeats the point. When you're respecting them, you have to respect them. When you're faking it, you're just doing it for the surface level value, and that's the main problem that we're going through right now. On that note, faking faking your existence, faking your identity, faking your hobbies, faking um, things to make them look grandeur, more appealing to the masses, more in line with what other people expect with you. It's really normal. It is really normal. And you having a say, you having your own voice is almost looked down upon. You doing a certain thing in a certain way that appeals to you is not it. You have to do that thing to appeal and please people that have done that specific thing in a specific way for way longer than you, because apparently way longer means that it's immediately better somehow. Looking cute. Now, looking cute, I would say it is very popular amongst, the boys. But for the girls, it's almost a necessity. It's almost a necessity because people do expect it from them. Having a higher pitched voice, having a very alluring and very, digestible personality, having a very predictable conversation with them, and just talking all sweet and no realness, if that makes sense. In East Asia, when you are talking to a girl or woman, they would try to make themselves be more cute or appear more cute because that is desirable. Frankly speaking, that is how people judge their opinions on them, and having a predictable personality, having a very cute aesthetic is like very girly. And overall, there is nothing wrong with being girly and stuff like that, but the problem arises when when that perception is forced upon someone by the society, even though they don't want to do it themselves personally. That is where the problem begins, and that is where I don't like personally. Okay. Now, returning back to high school stuff and things like that, because I got way too carried away with everything that's wrong overall. But yeah, now let's focus on studies and things like that. That's it for today. Meet you another time.